Two guys have Minnesota sports flowing in their veins. Mackey and Judd on SKOR North and SKORNorth.com.
Little Statements Monday here on the pod. Declan will fire someone's ass before Monday Statements is over as well. Declan, why don't you lead us off? Why don't you hit lead off here with Monday Statements? We'll go around the room a few times.
I will gladly bat lead off here. So, my hottest take on Purple Daily, which you can go find. I'm not going to spoil it for you because you should go find it. I'm not going to tell you what it is in case maybe you even haven't watched it. It was just a phenomenal hot take. But I also want to expand a little bit on it without spoiling that because I saw this trickle in after the episode. So Alec Lewis of The Athletic tweeted this morning that of the 388 NFL games this year, 307 of them have been decided by 8 points or less. So 307 divided by 388, Alec did this math, and then I double-checked it. That's 79%. Wow. So almost 80% of games that you watch of any football fandom, whether you're a Vikings fan, Packers fan, any type of fan, and you're watching this, 8 out of 10 games are decided by one score or less. So my statement is stop making one-score games a bad thing. Stop making one-score wins a dumb thing or discrediting a team for doing that. That is preposterous. This league is built on this. We've talked ad nauseum on Purple Daily about this is the NFL. Things get weird. You don't blow everybody out. The data right here that I just read, 79% of games are decided by 8 points, one possession basically, or less. And yet we are crapping on teams for having successful records or successful outcomes in one-score games. Full stop, dude. I don't want to hear it anymore. This is what this league is.
I love that game yesterday. You know, I mean, it adds another layer to it's another club in your bag for how you can win a game, right? Because early in the season, it was, okay, Vikings, all they do is jump out to leads, and then it gets a little dicey sometimes, but yeah, like they're holding on to these 3-touchdown leads, and that's the only way they can play. What if they get into a game where they're down a little bit, and then then they get into some of those games on the road where they're down, maybe not the greatest opponents. But, we needed to see them down by 2 scores, second half. Hey, Sam Darnold, this thing's been off the rails for 2 hours. It's on you to figure it out. So, yeah, that's a wild stat. So, basically, 80% of games are close in the end.
Yep.
And we act like it's some sort of travesty sometimes if they're even like, how dare you even be close against the Titans or the Cardinals at home. That's just not the way the league works. So you got to fight through the muck.
But the difference is between the 2022 Vikings and 2024 Vikings point differential, plus 78. Because if you are like a -2, that 2022 team was always sniffing around 0, right? They were a -3, then they were a +4.
They get smoked in games. Yeah, Vikings have not been smoked in a game, and it's December. Yeah.
Exactly right. So like there is a difference here, but it's point differential. But yeah, and look, this is why the majority, when you watch, in fact, the Thanksgiving weekend gave us a great platform to watch a lot of individual games. Fourth quarter, they're great. First 3, the quarters, they can be just very, meh, right? So, like that's how this league goes. Like, this league is not built on 4 quarters of great execution, great football. It's usually built on a lot of, especially by the time you get to Thanksgiving, a lot of slop and stuff. And then the fourth quarter's tight, and it's fun. The fourth quarter of that game yesterday was fantastic. I wouldn't have paid $5 to see the first half. So that's just sort of how this league works. But
I feel like you're not a true football fan.
But point differential.
If you can't find joy in the muck, then you don't deserve the fourth quarter fireworks.
I'm a red zone guy.
You're a casual. You're admitting you're a casual.
That's why I like to go. I like to skip from game to game because I don't want to watch a Tua try and play in the cold. Although statistically, he actually had a decent game.
All right, these casual Judd football take. We all know that these are casual takes you're bringing to the table now.
I'm a red zone. You know what? I'm not changing my platform right now. I'm a red zone guy. I love the red zone.
took great joy in watching Rico Dowdle run all over the field on Thanksgiving against the Giants.
How about that game? I actually stayed up through the tryptophan game. The Jets and Cowboys, I expected to take a nap. Or I'm sorry, the Giants and Cowboys, I expected to take a nap. I didn't. If I may go next, because I also have a Vikings-related one.
Yeah.
And it does go back to the Thanksgiving Day. I don't know what you would call it. The turkey provided by the Bears. The worst, maybe the worst, dare I say, clock management I have ever seen. And this is saying something from Matt Eberflus, who was fired the next day. But that's my statement. As funny as that was to watch from an opposing team, especially one in your division, the Bears coaching change shouldn't make Vikings fans happy. Now, I have no idea if Thomas Brown is good, but my God, he's gone from passing game coordinator to OC to head coach within like 2 weeks. But the Bears and the Vikings are going to meet at US Bank Stadium Monday night, December 16th, to end this 3-game homestand for the Vikings. And quite frankly, I would have preferred to have the, let's say, game clock challenged Matt Eberflus coach the Bears, because the Bears, the weird thing about the Bears is they're really not that bad. They were horribly coached. They were undisciplined. I mean, my God, the end of that game, we could talk about it, but it's one of the greatest F-ups I've seen. And to blame the rookie quarterback for not taking a timeout, Kirk Cousins wouldn't have taken a timeout there.
I agree everything you just said about Eberflus, but it's not like Caleb Williams has never played football. Like, that dude played at USC, clock winding down. They played in a lot of close games. How does nobody from quarterback to coach not sense we just took a sack, the clock is running, and Caleb said he got up there and he started adjusting some things at the line. Like, pie chart of blame here if this was, Bears Daily. Yeah, Matt Eberflus hit the road, pal. But also, Caleb, this isn't your first time playing football with a clock winding down in the fourth quarter. You know that you don't have a half hour to snap this football. That was maddening.
But there have been veteran QBs, including one who's going to return here on Sunday with the Falcons, who wouldn't bang a timeout because the coach was supposed to, and the coach didn't. But nonetheless, the point is, the Bears rallied. The Bears could have won that game. They certainly could have tied that game. So I do not think it's a good thing from the Vikings standpoint that the buffoon is gone, because Thomas Brown, I would guess, can't do worse. And I actually think the Bears might get some life now. So I'm not saying that they're going to make a run and be a playoff team. I'm just saying I think this makes the December 16th game a little bit tougher because of the fact that the Bears did make that coaching change.
I'll piggyback off you with another one here. After watching what has happened with the Chicago Bears, we should all feel even more fortunate, every stakeholder involved, from the fans up to the Wilfs, that Kevin O'Connell is the Vikings head coach. While we sit here and have spirited debates over little intricate play calling details, boy, that one play out of the 70 that they ran against the Titans or the Bears or whatever, I felt like they should have not run shotgun formation on that 4th and 1. Why were they in shotgun on a 4th and 1? Why would you not just run the ball or sneak it, and we can debate? And that's a legitimate debate over that one play, or maybe those two plays over the course of 3 hours. Bears fans are watching their idiot, incompetent head coach freeze, deer in the headlight style, train wrecking game after game after game sequence at the end of these things. The not knowing the kicker situation and how far his kicker was good from or not 3 weeks ago, right, against the Packers.
Yes.
I mean, the Bear, it's like if it was two houses, we are sitting here debating about the trim, the color of trim on the edges of our rooftops, right? Judd feels like it should be more of a lighter blue. I don't know. I think more of like a green and earthy tone.
Right.
And the Bears have like massive pipe breakages and leakages. There's like a fire. The furnace is on fire over here. And so just the next time that you feel like Kevin O'Connell is incompetent or should be fired, when was the last time you saw him just staring into space with 30 seconds to go, week after week, clock ticking down, not a clue what to do or how to lead. That was that was just an eye opener for I think everybody involved.
Yeah, no, that's a good one.
And I agree. Eberflus is a buffoon. He definitely shipwrecked games for the Bears, and I'm not trying to like completely crap on Judd's like, oh, now we got to be worried. Beat up on inferior. Like the Vikings are still a better team than Chicago. Don't be afraid because they fired Matt Eberflus that this is going to be closer than it should be. Like just don't. I think next year's Bears, I'm with Judd. Like next year's Bears could be poised to have a rebound. They're likely going to have a fourth place schedule. They're going to have a top 10 pick. Like yeah, like there's room to be scared about the Bears. The Bears on December 16th, go beat the Bears. It's all good.
Sure.
Go beat the Bears.
I'm just saying I would prefer to let Chicago just play for Eberflus and be sort of disgruntled about things than I would say, hey, wake up now. The Bears were hibernating for the entire season, by the way.
I think they're still mostly hibernating, but
how about that line?
I'm not
Let's go to break now. That's a great line.
But like the other thing too, just in terms of Bears incompetence, it's not like they just had an incompetent coach and we have to just extract the incompetent coach from the situation and then the cancer is gone. The McCaskies all the way down.
Oh, sure.
I mean, Kevin Warren, former Vikings executive, is their team president, and Ryan Poles. They let that dude do his 9 a.m. press conference because they refused to figure out what they were going to do before. So they trot him out to the media for his 9 a.m. press conference. He gets grilled, and then they bring him into a room like later that morning, and they fire him. And people wondering like, well, what? I think it was our old friend Courtney Cronin reported that. Well, the leadership had a meeting scheduled that kind of ran into, well, why don't you hold that meeting the night before or at like 5 o'clock literally, this is a franchise changing moment. Maybe don't just look at your watches and say, well, what do you guys think? Like 8:30, 9 o'clock meeting here?
They didn't do a press conference. They didn't do a press conference other than releasing a statement on his firing that day, though, right?
I don't think so. Not on that day.
That's why. They calculated it because they didn't want to then go stand up in front of the media and explain themselves. So they hung him out to dry on purpose. I think it was all done on purpose because you could have fired him. I mean, my God, you could have fired him on Thursday night.
Yeah.
Like
well,
it was,
the thing.
He got up to a microphone and said, I liked our process. No, but Eberflus post game on Thanksgiving was asked about this colossal F up. And instead of saying, you know what, that's on me, I did a terrible job. He's like, I liked our process or something like that. It's like, you're embarrassing everybody, dude, including yourself.
And now the latest reports are, okay, and McCaskey sent out, he's like so there's Ginny or Virginia, right, is the 100-year-old, and she doesn't do it. But then, like, the next McCaskey is like 79 or whatever, or 75. And so he's on Twitter or somebody who runs his Twitter account, and he's saying, this is going to be exciting. We're going to search for. So the reports are that the Bears are looking for a leader of men type coach.
You know what?
Which leads me to ask, wait a second, this is football, man. Like you weren't searching for leader of men type personalities. Like Eberflus was not a leader of men, and in terms of like walk into a room impressively and command it, right? Matt Nagy certainly was not a leader of men. But like, I love how that's their criteria. We're looking for a leader of men. Okay.
Well,
good luck, Bears.
I think the Vikings dodged a bullet because at the time that they were talking to Kwesi and Poles, I think the Vikings wanted Poles, but they didn't offer as much as the Bears. Now, I don't know if he is a complete disaster or not because he has procured some nice talent for them. But yeah, the job itself, like, what are they looking for? Vince Lombardi to come back from the dead?
Dude, it's...
and by the way, if you wanted a leader of men, Jim Harbaugh played quarterback for you and is a hero in Chicago.
Exactly.
And he is a leader of men.
All right, then we're back to Dex here.
Yeah, I'll make a lifestyle statement here. My statement is, I think the Thanksgiving weekend is my favorite vacation weekend, like, your corporate vacation weekend of the calendar year. So, like, you get New Year's Day and Memorial Day and 4th of July and Christmas, but, like, Christmas always falls, like, on a random day, and it's hard to time up your time on and time off. I think the Thanksgiving weekend, you work, maybe you work on Wednesday, but you could even take that off. You get the extra long weekend. It's Thursday, Friday off. You get to relax Saturday, Sunday. I think this is my favorite corporate vacation. You know, like you know exactly what day it is. You know what days you're getting off, and you just unplug for a little while. I know Judd loves the time off.
Judd is seething
might
right
be,
now
might
listening
be,
to this.
clenching his teeth
I'm
a
agreeing,
little bit.
actually.
Judd heard time
It's a
off,
great point.
unplugged, and extended weekend.
It's
and
too
his
long for
head
me.
Popped off his
It's too
body.
long for me, but Declan's whole statement there makes perfect sense.
But like, at least it's Thanksgiving's obviously
Right.
always on a Thursday,
Right? No,
and Friday's off. So like, it's
You're right.
not. You don't
You're
get the whole week off necessarily.
Nope,
Like
nope,
I
I'm
think
with
it's a
Declan.
perfect kick
It's a
your
great
feet
point.
up, relax, maybe spend time with family, maybe go on vacation like the Mackies did.
but
like
you know what you're doing. Yeah.
exactly. I think
Good
it's a legitimate it is. I love Christmas. Yes, I still love Christmas.
Yeah, but
I think I still like that more than Thanksgiving. But the weekend of having Thanksgiving off, prime, love it.
I like
Absolutely love it.
It's very football centric too, so you can just constant football games going on.
Oh,
Row
just
the boat,
constant
Sky Yamaha, go
sports.
Gophers. Let's go.
Just constant sports. Friday, Gophers at 11, Wild at 1. I mean, it is
Gopher
great for
basketball,
sports.
Wichita State overtime classic.
Oh God, yeah. If they just had hit the 3-pointer, if they just could
Kinda
hit
rattled
a
out there.
free throw, if they just could make a shot. But no, Dex is right. You know what? On that point, you know what's be a really probably undersold day that allows you the same versatility and it comes at the perfect time? Memorial Day.
Mm.
You know, Monday in May. Again, you can plan things out. It's getting to be nicer outside. But yeah, you're right. As far as like just the planning and you know when it's going to be and there's no ambiguity about the time off, I think you hit a home run there, Dex.
We should petition. What if I get that like December 25th is it's a birthday really, but like what if we petition to have Christmas also fall on a Thursday?
Thursday.
So then you
no
could
problem with
kind
that.
of just it'd be easier to
I mean,
plan it.
We picked the day. The last time I checked, I don't know that the calendar said Jesus was really born in Bethlehem on the 25th. So
it was
you
hard to
could
keep
sort of
track
just
of
move it
dates
around.
back then too, because you didn't have like iPhones.
Well, it was in a manger,
Paul,
too.
where's the
we don't
sun
know the
today?
time of
I
day.
think
I mean, he
it's-
could have been born on the 26th, not the 25th.
I think it's Tuesday, Joseph. No. I think it's Wednesday. There's a great scene right there. I'm trying to figure out what day it is.
What time is it right now? I don't know. Do we have a construct of time, or is it just the angle of where the
Where are
sun
those
is?
wise
Not
men?
sure.
When the wise men show up, it's 3:00. I like that one because you could also then have. So if you were to avoid Christmas ever being on a Saturday and Sunday, right? So it was always like on a Thursday.
You feel like you're getting kind of cheated when
Oh, you are
Christmas
getting
is on a
cheated.
Saturday.
100% cheated.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Back to me?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's my statement. Can we please, for the love of God, unless you like chaos, stop planting flags on the field of your opponent when you win a football game? Did you guys
Wow.
see?
I'm going to fight you on this.
Did you guys see the amount of now? If you want to go plant the flag on your own field because you won at home, God bless you. But I get what the gist of it is. But
How about stop being offended? You got your butt kicked in a football game.
get off the field.
Go get them next year. Go
I
back to the
agree.
locker
Learn
room.
how to lose.
Amen.
Learn
That
how
was
to
a
lose,
really
dude.
weird comment.
They're
The
taking a
Michigan-
flag and putting it on our logo. Let's go. No,
Win.
get your ass
No,
back
get
to the
your
locker room.
flag. Get your flag. Keep it at home. No flags. We do not need you. If you want to go celebrate with
hypocritical
your
of you.
teammates after, I don't need your damn flags. Who needs flags now?
Wait,
Nah, get
how
the
do
flags.
how do you watch as the flag guy? By the way, on
Yeah,
these
I have-
podcasts,
Yeah. with-
How do you
But you
how
know what
do
I
you
don't
watch?
do? I don't go to Soldier Field and plant the Vikings
You're telling
flag.
me if the Vikings beat the Bears or Packers at Soldier or Lambeau Field in the NFC title game and there was
There's
a
no flag.
flag planted there, you're gonna
But
come
no.
on you're gonna come on Purple Daily and rip Sam
When's the last
Darnold
time
for
you saw
doing
a
that?
flag in the National Football League? You don't because they're mature enough not to plant a flag. I'm not saying you can't celebrate, but my God. And like how many of these okay, Ohio State, Michigan went sideways. Florida State went sideways. ASU, Arizona, sideways. I'm missing another one. It's come on. We don't need your flag.
And the problem is immature kids not knowing how to lose, like Declan said. This is what happens in life, kids. Sometimes you're going to lose. You're going to lose to your hated rival.
Right.
That hated rival is going to get that promotion instead of you, the one
Right.
that pokes you in the break room.
But you don't
in the cubicles.
But if you get the promotion, you then don't go to your opponents, to the person that you beat out, to their house and plant a
You damn
flag
right you
in
do.
their front
Depends
yard.
on the person.
Yeah, you
It
toilet
definitely
paper their
depends on
house.
the
Well, if you do,
Yeah.
I'm going to come out and kick your ass. So we don't need this. We don't need this.
So all right,
I mean,
Judd
people-
is
The
Judd
cops
is
pepper sprayed the
anti-flag.
players.
Let
The
it be
cops
known.
pepper sprayed the players.
Dude, Jenny Taft, Minnesota's own, by the way. So she's doing the post-game interview with that number 55 guy. And this fight breaks out like right behind them. And poor Jenny almost they had to like stop the
know.
interview so she could run off the
It was
field.
dangerous.
That's amazing.
People got pepper sprayed.
Can I jump in quick because this is an easy firing of an ass. It segues perfectly.
Yeah.
It's just
We're firing someone's ass here.
yeah, we're gonna fire because it segues perfectly. As just the neutral college football observer guy here, whose school no longer has a football team despite having like one of the nicest football fields in the entire state. That's a side rant.
Nice work by your president.
This is the easy Ryan Day, dude. You're fired. This is so simple. How the hell have you won 50 out of 51 Big Ten games that are teams not named Michigan, and you can't beat a pretty mediocre, below average, not up to snuff, I should say, Michigan team? They're not a pushover, but they're not Michigan of last year for sure. And you lose again to Michigan, and you're just kind of he was a meme, man. He was a meme after that game. That dude is a completely incompetent to be leading Ohio State, if that's
What
the case.
happened?
What
I don't
happened?
know. Well,
Dude, your team
your
is
players
in
are getting tased and maced right now,
Yes.
dude.
And he's like, what happened?
What's going on? Oh man.
Good
So
firing.
Ryan
So
Day
Ryan Day, you're
is
fired.
gone.
Firing.
Okay, I do have a college football one here to celebrate in a moment, but let's you know who's not going to get fired? Finch Home Solutions.
God.
They're going to come in and they're going to fix whatever you need to be fixed.
Oh, that's exactly right. You know why? Because Cody Finch and his team are professional. The only flag they're going to plant is the flag that said, we did a great job, because they do. I mean, look at all those trucks right now. Very familiar color scheme, right? Finch Home Solutions does all types of residential work, big or small. Flickering lights, for instance, could be a problem. Guess what? Finch Home Solutions will come to your house, diagnose the problem, and take care of it. There's nothing more important than the safety of you and your family, especially this time of year. And Finch Home Solutions, no matter what you might have. I mean, heck, you know what? You might be installing a hot tub. Guess what? A lot of electrical work there. You might need your smoke detectors checked out. Guess what? Finch Home Solutions does that. They do everything. They do a fantastic job. They've been to Sports Dad's house, taking care of projects big and small. 612-357-2604, FinchHomeSolutions.com, FinchHomeSolutions.com. Phil is right. They are fantastic.
Yeah, also Woodhouse Spas. Okay, now I'm a spa guy. Once in a while, old Macadac, get himself a massage, the occasional pedicure. If you haven't had the calf and foot massage, you're missing out, guys. You're missing out. But whether it's you or maybe it's someone in your life, Woodhouse Spas could be the perfect gift for your spouse, your mom, anyone on your list. Locally owned, Maple Grove, Woodbury, Rosedale Center. Give a gift card for a spa experience for the holidays. Go to woodhousespas.com to learn more, or you can just stop into one of their locations. Again, Maple Grove, Woodbury, Rosedale Center. It's all about self-care for both women and men with over 70 spa services at Woodhouse Spas.
I'll have to check out the Woodbury one in my backyard here, but I will be having my first massage next week.
Oh, you've never? Oh,
Never had one on the honeymoon.
Wow.
We're doing a couples massage. Never have experienced a massage in my life. I can't tell you how excited I am.
so you're not nervous or
No.
Okay.
I'm not nervous. No,
Dude,
it sounds amazing.
You're gonna love. You know what? Actually, it's become so. The Mackies go to Vegas once or twice a year. We were there for Thanksgiving, and you go to Vegas and it's like the massage that you might get in the Twin Cities for a reasonable price is like $500 or something. And so we found in the Miracle Mile area it's like an indoor kind of strip mall, kind of you walk all the way through and stuff. and there's like a chair massage place where you just sit like kind of angled forward in a chair, and then they move you over to it's like $70, and you sit there, and you're like watching people buzz by with they're like Vegas cocktails. We've done that a few times. I'm just saying, like, there's no bad massages unless you're Robert Kraft. I don't know. Maybe
I was going to say, I'm just going to stay out of this conversation entirely.
I wasn't going to go there at all. But
that judge just like completely abandoned this discussion.
Well, you know what? I could either say something that was immature and would stop the show, or I could just allow it all to pass. So I just allowed it to pass, but it sounds fantastic.
Yeah. WoodhouseSpas.com.
You go, Dex. You go.
So, gentlemen, a lot of heat on PJ Fleck, after some of these losses, but at the end of the day, 7-5 record. It probably should have been like 9-3 just based on some of the game flows. But
I like where you're going with this.
He finishes above 500 again. My statement is we should celebrate PJ Fleck. This is the best stretch against the University of Wisconsin in 30 years for the Gophers. Remember, the Gophers from 1995 through 2000, basically until PJ Fleck got here, only beat Wisconsin twice in 22 years. He has now won 3 of the last 4 games against the Badgers. He is 4-4 in the 8 matchups against the Badgers in his career. He beats Wisconsin regularly, which is one of the main things to check on the top of when you hire a new Gophers coach. Can you please beat Wisconsin?
Can you beat Iowa and Wisconsin? And the
Iowa
answer
not as
to
regularly.
One of those is yes, and one of them is no.
He's got to work on Iowa a little bit more, but this is the best any Gophers coach has done against Wisconsin in 30 plus years. So PJ Fleck, it's kind of a down year, but you know what? They knocked Wisconsin out of bowl eligibility and out of a 500 season for the first time in 23 years, the longest stretch of any Power 5 football team.
If the Badgers have another down year next season, is Luke Fickell gone? Like,
probably, yeah.
Yeah, like they are really, really shaky. They're not good. Anyway, I'm with you. In fact, I had the same statement, and I would compare this. And I know that there's times where we're mad at Fleck. And look, there are certainly games where his game management and clock is just awful. But that being said, if you were to get rid of Fleck now, it is, we've been here before and seen this film. It is the same as when you got rid of Glenn Mason, right? Like, we can do better. Yeah. We can do better than Glenn. We're going to take that next step. Oh, beware of saying that. So I'm with you. Let it play out. There is a chance at some point that Fleck might try to leave eventually, because I think
Carolina.
That there probably are jobs. I don't know what the buyout from both sides. Like, I know that if the Gophers were to fire him now, the cost would be exorbitant. But anyway, the point is, I'm with Phil. Let's let this lie. It's fine. You're winning enough games. You beat the Badgers. You're ordinarily competitive. Gopher football, dare I say this, I don't think there is a next step. Like, I think this is and occasionally they might have good, 2019 again with Fleck, but I don't think like there's this next magic coach step.
Yeah, I think so. He is, and Glenn Mason came in and turned around a dark program, like the Jim Wacker. There was between Lou Holtz and Glenn Mason, which was like a 12-year dark period. It was really, really bad. And so Glenn comes in, he turns that thing around in like 2 years. They wind up going to the Sun Bowl in his 3rd year. They beat undefeated Penn State in Penn State, Happy Valley, and they go to the Sun Bowl against Oregon in 1999. And he was a rock solid. It was a good, solid, competitive program for like a decade. PJ Fleck in every category, like record-wise, everything, has had a better tenure than Glenn Mason did.
Right.
So Glenn Mason was 7 games over 500. 7 games over 500 as the Gophers coach. PJ Fleck is 18 games over 500 as the Gophers coach. Glenn Mason was 16 games under 500 in conference. PJ, 2 games under 500 in conference. Mm-hmm. Glenn Mason in bowl games, 3-4. PJ Fleck in bowl games, 5-0.
Yeah.
And if you say, well, what about peak, though? I mean, Glenn had that 10-win season where they beat Oregon in the Sun Bowl in 2003, and they finished ranked, I think it was 17th. Right. And PJ's peak was 11-2, beating Auburn in an Outback Bowl and finishing 10th in the country. So, like, and this is not a knock on Glenn, who turned a program around, but PJ Fleck is the best coach the Gophers have had probably since the 1960s and Murray Warmath, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. And PJ has, so he's got his clock meltdown games at times.
Yes,
but
definitely
Glenn
things
had,
to nitpick.
but what got Glenn canned was the fact that he had these epic collapses in games where his team, including down to his last game as the Gophers coach in Arizona for the bowl game, just absolutely cratered. So, but I just, you know what? In retrospect, Glenn Mason should have been allowed to stay probably as long as he wanted to, and to go back to Fleck now, it's fine. And we might get tired of Fleck's act at times, but keep in mind, unlike a pro coach, these teams cycle through players constantly. So it's not like this locker room of guys who have been there forever and tune him out. They're college kids. You got recruiting, more importantly, the transfer portal. Leave well enough alone. It's fine.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
So, amen. Roll the boat, Sky Yama.
Yep. Occasionally you'll screw up a timeout and we'll come on here and yuck it up. But, yeah.
On the Mackeys and Thanksgiving in Vegas situation, number one, what was the airport like at 5 a.m. on Thursday? Like, was it empty? Like, was it busy? Was it? What was it?
We flew out of MSP, like, first flight Thursday morning, and it was not terrible. I mean, there was definitely people around, but it was not terrible. Highly recommend either paying the $80 for TSA pre or clear, so that you can at least know that it's a shorter line. Like, it's like $80 for multiple years, I'm pretty sure. So, like, highly, highly recommended. And then I would say Black Friday in Vegas, crazy. And I've never been there during March Madness, but I think people do their family thing on Thursday and then get out of Dodge, go to Vegas for the weekend.
Turn it loose.
And just cut it loose.
Well,
so
I mean,
it's a vibe. It's a vibe out there.
I can only imagine. You mentioned the Miracle Mile stores. Like, I've walked through those numerous times, and I can't imagine, like, Black Friday in there. I bet there's some awesome sales, and you got like some high end stores that are in that place.
Yeah, you just walk into Balenciaga or Gucci and say, "Hey,
that's what my wife did to me. I got
you guys
liquored
get any
up.
Black Friday deals?"
Yeah, I got liquored up after the wedding, and then all of a sudden I say, "You know what, honey? I'll buy that Gucci wallet for you." And she's like, "My plan worked. I got you 6 beers in." And that's what happened. So you walk through those stores, you have a couple cocktails, you look at the deals. You're screwed. You're
I
gonna
feel
buy
like
something.
they're always judging the like normal people like us. They always have like a security guy with an earpiece.
Yeah.
And it's wait, what do you do? What do you think you're just gonna walk in here, huh? What do you think you're just gonna walk right in? No?
So what time did you go to the Miracle Mile? Do you remember?
I mean, I don't know, like afternoon.
Okay. So like had you watched the Gophers game, or didn't you care?
Oh no, definitely watched the Gophers game.
Okay. That game started at 9 a.m. your time?
It's like West Coast sports viewing for sure. It's funny because coming from Minnesota, it was like 15 degrees or even like 7 degrees or something.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And wind chill.
Yep.
And you get to Vegas, and the first thing we did on Thursday is we went to Stadium Swim inside Circa in like Old Town Vegas.
Yeah.
And ran into there was a bunch of Vikings fans there just like hanging out watching NFC North football. So we had a good time, but it was like 50 or 55 degrees and all of us were in a pool. And it's like upper Midwestern. It was Chicago people, Detroit people, and Minneapolis people.
Yep.
And all the Vegas workers were just like bundled up in jackets, and we're sitting there, hot tub, warm pools.
Oh, yeah.
So 40-degree temperature difference is all we need as Minnesotans.
Oh,
It's cold. It's 59 and sunny.
Yeah.
Hey, the blood
I'm taking
thins,
my
though.
shirt off.
I think the blood does thin. I buy that.
Yeah, probably does.
But good for you.
Yeah, it was a good time. A good old time. 48 hours, that's the preferred length. I feel like a third night, 72 hours. I don't know. I don't know that you need that much time in Vegas. Unless it's like a summer league or something.
2 full days in Vegas is enough. If you want to get in there the night before, I've taken the red eye in, or like the late, or not even the red eye in, the late night flight in. So you land at Vegas like at 11, you go to bed, or like like Mackey's did, you get there early. 2 full days, 2 full 48 hours in Vegas, sweet spot. No, don't need anything more than that. Not at all.
Amen. Judd, when's the next Zolgad excursion to Vegas?
I don't go to Vegas. I've been there twice. I don't enjoy it. Sorry.
I love Vegas.
I would like to go now. Just to amend that, I always wanted to go for the first round of the NCAA basketball tournament. I did want to see that.
But what do you hate about Vegas?
I don't hate it. It's just not my first choice.
But like, what are the reasons why it's not?
It's too much, and I don't enjoy gambling.
So then I don't think you'd like March Madness then. If Vegas is too much and you don't like gambling, you're literally walking into like the most and all of the gambling.
But I love to watch a ton of games and like try and watch a ton of games. But I was saying that was my goal like in my 20s and 30s. Yeah. I'm past that now, but I don't gamble. I don't like going, and like pools don't intrigue me as far as sitting in a pool. like it's just not.
What does intrigue you?
It's not my cup of tea. I would rather go, as I've said, to the East Coast, sit in a bar and watch sports. New York, Boston, like I would rather be there.
Maple Leafs Islanders
read the Post in a pub. Like I'm not saying that that's normal. I'm just saying that's me. But it's just a lot of people enjoy it, and that's awesome. It just doesn't really have a lot of things that appeal to me personally. Partially just because, and it's not that I have. Just to be clear here too, I have no problem with gambling. Like it's not like I'm anti.
You're not like a prude.
No, it just doesn't interest me.
You enjoy other vices, is what
exactly,
you're saying.
Exactly. Because I don't want, this is not an anti, you know what? Sports gambling is great. I wish that it was in the state. So in no means, I just don't really enjoy it. And I don't enjoy being outside a lot. So like that sort of kills the vibe of the entire city. I do like Old Vegas way more than the Strip.
Old Vegas is a blast. It's so much fun.
It's great to watch people.
It's kind of seedy.
It's very seedy.
You know?
I like seedy. I do not like sanitized. It feels like the Strip sanitized.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, fair. It's the most sanitized probably place in the country.
It's Disneyland for adults.
It is. It's just like a fake, it's a fake respite in the middle of a desert. Yeah. It's
Correct.
It's a whole made up thing
I don't
for
really
adults.
enjoy that.
Awesome. I've been to, I did Vegas the first week of, not March Madness, but the conference tournament weekend was my first ever trip to Vegas. And that was obviously bananas because you got seating going on and conference games. Like that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun.
I feel like, I don't know, because I'm not like, my last hand of poker was 15 years ago. I used to play all the time. We'll like just play some fun slots with a drink in our hand, but we are not.
Likes that. Dawn
if we're there
slots.
for 48 hours, we're maybe gambling for like 2 hours, maybe. I mean, there's. I feel like Mackie, Judd, Dex. Maybe we find. I think we could make it fun for Judd for 48 hours.
Yeah,
I really think we could.
Oh yeah, no.
We'll take the show on the road at some point. And make
I'm just saying, if you're asking me, what type of trip do I want to pay for? It's not my first choice. It's fine. I just don't. It doesn't really appeal to my senses.
We could send Judd to New York, so he feels like he's sort of on the East Coast.
I would like to see a Golden Knights game. Yeah. I would love to see a Golden Knights game.
We thought about, because they were home 2 nights, they played a back-to-back, and we almost pulled the trigger on tickets.
Yeah, it's supposed to be really cool.
A lot of fun.
WrestleMania will be there this year, or not this year, right? No.
Yeah, this year.
Yeah, it's this
year.
Yeah,
where the Dome?
At the
yeah. Oh, what's the stadium called? Allegiant.
Oh, they had Allegiant.
Stadium,
yeah, Allegiant Stadium. But I know they
moved
back. They moved back the dates because the weather, which also is like, if you're doing an open door stadium, I guess it does make sense moving it back. But like that first night in Philly this last year was a disaster for them because it got down to 48 degrees and they were freezing their asses off in the ring.
Ooh, that's not good.
Yeah, it's tough to take a spine buster,
But yes, I'm not a prude. I am not trying to pass judgment, just not my first choice. But if you want to gamble and drink, you go.
We're gonna get Judd out there. We're gonna get a couple IPAs in him, and we're gonna get him a tattoo. That's what we're
gonna. I'm not getting a tattoo. No.
Those are statements, Monday statements here. Minnesota Sports with Mackie and Judd. We'll see you for a scoop session on this podcast tomorrow. It's Kirk Cousins week on Purple Daily too.